6 weather day with increasing snow potential for Saturday. We'll take a closer look at who could see the highest impacts coming up. That is here on Saturday, high of 34, and we're tracking the potential for snow to build in after midday. Now, we've been watching the track of this system, and it's looking a little bit more likely that we do get some snow impacts into the metro, at least a coating, with the potential for some higher totals, especially to the north and northeast of the metro. So right now for the metro, we're looking at up to an inch. Doesn't look like a heavy round of snow for us, just enough to maybe cause some afternoon to evening travel impacts. Totals will drop heading down to the south and southwest, where we're a little warmer and could even mix over to rain. But to the north and northeast, 1 to 3 inches possible Saturday afternoon through the day on early Sunday. We're going to be taking a closer look at the track of this, another round of winter weather as we head into the weekend. In the meantime, get a little rebound from the intense cold we were dealing with today, possible for our northern counties, but nothing that should cause any issues for you on your Friday other than that chill. Out the door, we'll start off in the teens and we gradually warm from there. We are up to about 31, just shy of the freezing mark once we hit about midday, and we're back above that for the rest of the afternoon, reaching for a high of 36 in the metro. So not a warm day, but you might start to see a little bit of melting out there. By Saturday, that's our first Alert 6 weather day. We're tracking that round of snow afternoon, a high of 34, and temperatures that will cool from there as a cold front swings through. That's going to leave us with a chilly day on Sunday. High of only 20 degrees, some early morning snow showers, and a feels like forecast that's going to be really uncomfortable. We're starting off feeling like the teens between about 6 and 8 a.m. and then for a good portion of the day, mid-morning through the afternoon, we see a little bit of a breeze kick up and we'll have feels like temperatures more like the single digits. So make sure you are prepared for another quick round of cold. Thankfully, it doesn't last. We are back to above freezing temperatures by Monday, and by Tuesday, our new date for Stuff the Truck, much more comfortable forecast for you. Still going to be cold out the door. Chilly start in the mid-20s, but we're warming through the 30s with a mix of sun and clouds and near seasonal temperatures by 1 p.m., 38 degrees. We'll be making those donations and taking those collections all the way from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. at a couple of those drop-off locations. So better day to be outside with high temperatures pushing back into the low 40s. We'll stay in the low 40s through Wednesday, tracking a rain-snow mix as temperatures fall back to the mid-30s by Thursday and stay on the cooler side through the end of the 10-day forecast. Can stay on top of the forecast, brings in another round of winter weather. We're tracking snow chances and for the metro, at least a coating, but we have the potential for some higher totals Saturday after midday through early Sunday morning, especially to the north and northeast. So we're going to be watching this for another round of chilly air for Sunday as well. Around the metro at this point, it looks like we see up to an inch of snow. We'll keep a close eye on the track of this. If we trend colder, there's the chance that totals could climb slightly higher. But off to the north and east, that's where we see likely the highest impacts to travel and maybe just enough snow that you need to break out the shovel. Denison, Carroll in that 1 to 3 inch range. Tacoma right on the edge of that. And totals drop down to the south and southwest, where we even see a mix over to rain. Light warm up out there tomorrow. It's been cold today. We'll be down to the teens tomorrow morning, so not another drop into the single digits or below zero. 17 for Omaha, 17 around Shenandoah. We'll be at 19 for Lincoln and a low of 12 degrees around Harlan. From there, we do have a steady warm up that takes us above the freezing mark, so you might see a little bit of melting out there tomorrow with a mix of sunshine and clouds, but the clouds do build into the afternoon with a few flurries possible north of the metro. Plan for a high of 36 degrees for the metro. A high of 35 for Tacoma, 39 around Shenandoah, a few 40s out to the west. It really depends on where we see those breaks of sunshine. But the warmth, if you want to call it warmth, doesn't last. We'll be tracking our next round of winter weather. We'll get you a first alert to who sees some snow potential over the weekend. That's coming up with your 10-day power planner. Brian.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Alert for some cooler conditions building in by the end of the weekend. We have our next round of winter weather, so enjoy this brief climb above freezing. We'll be at 36 tomorrow with a few flurries to the north, and then by Saturday, this is a first alert 6 weather day for snow chances mainly afternoon. That's when we could see some accumulating snow. Through the morning, we're cloudy, maybe some flurries around, but likely no travel concerns. As we get to about midday, here comes that round of wintry weather that's building in from the west. Temperatures are pretty borderline, so we're going to have some changeover between rain and snow, especially south of I-80. Off to the north, we're going to be a little bit colder. It's going to stay all snow through the afternoon. For the metro, we're kind of right on the edge of that line, so we may have some slushy or wet snow with temperatures hovering very close to the freezing mark, especially initially before we start to cool down into the evening. And in the evening is likely when we see the heaviest snow take over. By about 8 p.m., we likely have more widespread moderate snow in the metro and north, and still that potential for rain down to the south. This will continue into the overnight hours and wrap up as we get into early Sunday morning. So more than likely, if you sleep in on Sunday, you'll miss the last of those snow showers. Now, as we get into Sunday, a much colder day behind this system. We'll be down to the teens in the morning, 20 for the afternoon high, and then single digits by Monday morning. After that, we start to see some improvements if you're not a fan of the cold. 34 on Monday, 40 on Tuesday. Much better day to be outdoors for Stuff the Truck. We'll stay in the low 40s on Wednesday with scattered rain to snow showers as some cooler air takes us back to the 30s for the end of the 10-day forecast. So some ups and downs, but looking ahead to next week, we do get some more lasting relief from this day this weekend for our next round of snow and cold to follow. We'll take a closer look coming up. To the weekend, a high of 34 for Saturday. So temperatures are a bit borderline where some of us do see that potential for a change between rain and snow throughout the day. It's going to be a pretty quick moving system after midday on Saturday, continues into early Sunday morning. That brings at least a coating to the metro with the potential for some higher totals, especially to the north and northeast. Now, right now, we are still dealing with the cold left over from this morning's first alert 6 weather day. A lot of us dipping down below zero. We're now sitting right at 20 for the metro, but it's feeling like 6 degrees, feels like 2 degrees in Atlantic and the teens out across most of eastern Nebraska. So as you step out tonight, just keep in mind it's going to be feeling quite a bit chillier through the remainder of this evening as temperatures slowly cool off into the teens by about 11 o'clock for the metro. Looking ahead to tomorrow, we have a bit more sunshine and a little bit more warmth to enjoy with increasing clouds through the day. You can plan on a high in the mid-30s, so we're back above the freezing mark. We'll take a closer look at how long this relief from the cold lasts and how the weekend system is going to impact things for your plans outdoors. That's coming up. Aaron.
Thanks, Emily.
Out there tonight, left over from our first Alert 6 weather day this morning, many of us making that first dip below zero. Now for tomorrow, a little warmer. You can plan on highs above the freezing mark. We will have increasing clouds, and then by the weekend, we are tracking another first Alert 6 weather day. Snow potential on Saturday, and that's going to bring in a drop in temperatures for Sunday, so we are not done with that winter weather just yet. Forecast lows tomorrow morning, however, pretty big improvement compared to where we started today. We're still cold, 17 overnight for the metro, but at least we're not dipping down to 0 or below. 12 for Harlan, 18 for Wahoo, and 19 tomorrow morning around Nebraska City. From there, we'll warm up with increasing clouds through the day on Friday. Where the cloud cover winds up is going to influence our temperatures. We're aiming for the mid-30s in the metro, so likely a high near 36. If the clouds move in a little bit quicker, that could impact the warm up. You'll notice we have kind of a variation in temperatures across the area, a mix of the mid-30s to even mid-40s. So it really depends where the sunshine peeks through. 37 expected around Fremont, 42 for Columbus, 39 in Shenandoah, and 35 tomorrow afternoon around Atlantic. By Saturday, we don't see too much change. More of us are back into the 30s, a mix of the mid to upper 30s, and by the afternoon, we'll be tracking that next winter storm system. So let's time this out and talk a little bit more about the impacts on that first Alert 6 weather day. We'll be cloudy Cloudy out the door Saturday morning, some flurries possible early in the day, but the accumulating snow potential gets here by about noon. That starts to move in for the afternoon. We're a little warmer down to the south. This is where we're going to retain a bit more of that warmth through the afternoon. So mainly a rain event or even a bit of a mix that's tough to accumulate. Around the metro and north, we'll see a higher chance for accumulating snow. Snow rates likely pick up in the evening, especially as we start to cool off through the night, and we'll have overnight snow chances that wrap up pretty early in the morning on Sunday. This will leave us with up to an inch around the metro. We are right on the edge of that rain snow line at this point, so that's going to make things a little bit tougher to kind of stack up. But as we move out to the north and especially northeast, snow totals could reach as high as 3 inches and will drop down to the southwest, or this is going to be mainly a rain to wintry mix event. So less of accumulating snow down to the southwest of the metro. Everyone feels the drop in temperatures, though. We are down to 20 degrees on Sunday, single digits Monday morning, and then a warm up for next week. You can plan on highs back near 40 starting Tuesday. That'll last through Wednesday with another dip back down to the mid 30s by Thursday of next week. You can stay on top of the forecast by downloading our First Alert Snow, and it comes with more cold for Sunday. As we look ahead to the afternoon, that's going to be the time frame where we're starting to see the impacts from the snow. That'll continue through Saturday night and wrap up Sunday morning, leaving behind at least a coating in the metro. The track of this system is starting to become a little bit more clear, so we're kind of focusing in on those impacts, and likely they're going to be the highest to the north and northeast of the metro. Up to an inch of snow is looking like the most likely scenario for the metro. We're right on the edge of that rain snow line, so we may have some slushy accumulation that kind of limits our totals, but to the north will be a little colder, and that's going to allow our snow totals to stack up to about 1 to 3 inches in that blue highlighted zone. Totals drop to the southeast, where a lot of areas could be looking at rain. We'll take a closer look at the track of this system coming up with your 10-day power planner. Brian.
All right, we'll see you soon.
For some ups and downs in temperature, we have another round of winter weather on the way. Tomorrow, probably one of our nicer days until we get into next week. A high of 36, increasing clouds and a few flurries. By Saturday, we're tracking a winter storm system, and we've made it a First Alert 6 weather day with that potential for accumulating snow. That moves in after midday. We could start the day with a few flurries, but nothing that sticks. By noon, we'll have our next round of snow building in from the west, and with temperatures kind of hovering right around that freezing mark for many of us, we will start out with a mix or maybe even stay all rain. That's going to be the potential for more rain down to the southwest. Around the metro, we should be just cold enough by the afternoon that we stay mainly snow. Through the afternoon into the evening, we may see a brief mix over around the metro, especially into Sarpy County, but we should transition over to all snow through the evening, and it should pick up in intensity as we get into Saturday nights, clearing gradually overnight and into early Sunday morning. So by about 4 a.m., the last of those snow showers that would be steady, and then through the morning, we should start to dry out. This is going to leave us with a round of cold. We're down to about 13 degrees by Sunday morning, a high of only 20, and then single-digit lows by Monday morning. We'll start to improve from there with high temperatures back to the mid-30s on Monday. And for Tuesday, that is our new date for Stuff the Truck. Should be a great day to be outside compared to recent temperatures. High of 40. We start off chilly at 7 a.m. We'll be in the mid-20s, and we're warming steadily through the 30s with a mix of sunshine and clouds. You can plan on a high of 40 once again for Wednesday with a rain-snow mix potential as some chilly air moves back in and highs fall back to the 30s. You can stay on top of the forecast by downloading our First Alert Snow Chance. Saturday is a First Alert 6 weather day. We'll take a closer look at the impacts coming up. We're tracking this next system. It's going to be pretty quick moving to push in after about midday on Saturday, bringing in the chance for some accumulating snow. Now, as this moves through, doesn't look like a heavy round for the metro. We're looking at least a coating, but there is the potential for some higher totals, especially to the north and northeast. And this is going to come along with a sharp drop in temperatures for the tail end of the weekend. In the meantime, we're still trying to recover from this morning's round of cold. Right now, sitting at 18 degrees in the the metro feels like 5. A lot of us feeling like the single digits to teens out there tonight. And by the time you head out the door tomorrow morning, we're not going to be much colder than we are right now. So we're on our way back up tomorrow afternoon. We start off at 8 a.m. at 19 degrees. We'll have a mix of sunshine and clouds, a little bit warmer through the day, a high of 36. And then we'll be tracking that next system that gets here for Saturday, sparking that snow chance, and then that cools us down quite a bit for Sunday. Get you a first alert on those big changes and the track of this storm system that's coming up in my full forecast. Aaron?
We have breaking news.
Another round of winter weather as we head into the weekend. In the meantime, we have a brief moment of recovery tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit warmer. We have some increasing cloud cover, and then by Saturday, we'll be tracking that next winter storm system. Not as high impact as our last one, but it is going to come along with some snow potential and a significant drop in temperatures for Sunday. In the meantime, we're starting to warm up tomorrow. Out the door, still going to be chilly, but we're not making that drop down below 0. We're going to stay in the teens to even 20s for most. 17 for Omaha, 16 overnight for Red Oak, 22 in Columbus. We're not getting much colder than where we are right now. And as we move through the day tomorrow, you'll notice a big change. We're back above the freezing mark. We'll have a gradual climb with a mix of sunshine and clouds, and then we'll be mostly cloudy by the afternoon. A couple of flurries can't be ruled out north of the metro as we warm to a high of 36 degrees. Can plan for a mix of the 30s and 40s tomorrow. It really depends on where we see those peaks of sunshine. So keep that in mind. Temperatures could fluctuate a little bit. We're planning on that high of 36 for Omaha and Wahoo, 39 in Fremont. Few 40s possible out to the west. This is likely where we have a little bit more sunshine. Could have a few 40s down to the southeast as well. Again, very dependent on where we see a little bit of clearing during the afternoon. Now on Saturday, most of us will fall back into the 30s. We'll still try for a couple of 40s down to the south. And this is where we're going to be on the warmer side of this winter storm system, and snow totals will be quite limited. So let's go through the hour by hour forecast and time this out. Now, Saturday's a first alert 6 weather day for that potential for accumulating snow and some winter weather impacts, but we likely don't see much accumulation down to the south as this rolls in. Now, during the mid-afternoon, you'll notice we'll have a mix over between rain and snow south of I-80. Around the metro areas north, we likely stay all snow to at least mostly snow, with temperatures right on the edge of that freezing mark. Snow chances will be best through the evening and will continue as we get to about 10 p.m. You'll notice still looking at that change over to rain south of I-80. So again, that really limits our accumulation potential there. And this should wrap up by early Sunday morning. This will leave behind likely a coating on the ground for the metro up to an inch on the higher side. And then totals climb as we move north and northeast, where we're going to be a little bit colder. 1 to 3 inches, some higher travel impacts possible in these locations through Tekamah into Harlan, Carroll, and then totals really drop down to the south and southwest, where we're going to stay a little warmer and see more of a wintry mix to even all rain through the day on Saturday. By Sunday, however, we all feel the drop in temperatures behind this cold front. 20 degrees for the afternoon high, and we'll be down to the single digits by Monday morning. We're back to the 40s by next Tuesday. That's our new date for Stuff the Truck. Much more comfortable day to be outside. We have one more day in the 40s, and then a rain-snow mix on Wednesday comes along with our next cool down, pushing us back to the 30s. You can stay on top of the forecast by down.
We wanted to share that this is Emily's last full week here at First Alert 6 before she starts her maternity leave.
Yeah, check out these beautiful pictures of Emily with her husband, Nick. Soon going to become mom and dad. We are so excited for you guys, Emily.
Thank you.
We'll miss you, though.
Oh, I'm still planning to be here for a few days next week, but, at this point, you never really know.
Hard to plan some things.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, well, any day now.
I know, very exciting.
We're excited and happy to meet the child, and we've been giving you all sorts of weird names, but you just aren't into any of them.
Shutting down the suggestions.
I won't say them on air just in case someone has them.
Excellent point. Yeah. Excellent point. But you know who you are. No.
Well, hopefully it doesn't snow on the day that you're trying to get to the hospital.
Yeah.
I'm hoping not.
Can we take viewer suggestions for names?
I think that's a great idea.
Make a
Send
poll.
them into Brian.
Yeah, make a poll.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great night.